from a little cover. I got my dreams inside, wrestling on the mat. I go and put up a fight with every hold and slam. I rise to the peak. Now as Professor Bear, it's my strength that they see. Roaring with knowledge like a lion so proud. In this wrestling world, I'm standing out loud. I'm Professor Bear, got the passion to spare. Wrestling's my life with the power to share. From the roof to ropes, in the spotlight we gleam, chasing victory dreams, living out the theme. Now my WOSN, my squad.
Yeah. Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
With my boys crew, we'll always ride. In the wrestling world, one just claim the prize.
Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is the Bear's Thought. And the thought I have at this moment is, man, it's such a blessing to be involved in professional wrestling. You get to have some great conversation with great people. You get to find out what they truly think about you as a person, as a podcaster, and a lot of different things. But I really have enjoyed bringing these two special months together. It has really, truly shown me how much I love it, how much I'm willing to go for just to praise people that deserve the praise that keeps us going as wrestling fans. And with that being said, I have a gentleman on today that he's been on my show before. They have a tremendous promotion out in California that I would have felt some kind of way if I didn't include them in this appreciation month. With that being said, this is my friend Doc. Doc, how are you doing this evening?
Oh man, I am doing fantastic. I don't know if you caught it, but a few days ago I was on The Price is Right. At least the episode aired, and I tell you what, there's nothing better than getting to cut a promo on your wrestling nemesis than doing it on daytime game show with the WWE Hall of Famer Drew Carey. So I'm riding on cloud 9 right now, brother.
Oh, that is so cool. And my wife is a big fan of Price is Right. So she may have seen it, so I'm going to have to check with her.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was streaming free on CBS.com, but you can still see it on Paramount Plus, the January 27th episode. And just spoil alert, I'm the only person who won any of the games on the show.
Oh,
the showcase was a double overbid, so I'm the only guy who won anything on the show. It was great.
Oh man, that is so cool. I definitely will have to check it out. So before we dive into it, I just have to tell my fans that if y'all look over to the top right corner, you will see their logo. Again, wrestling is so huge, and you can't help but have similar names for companies out there. So I want y'all to see their logo so you know that you're on the right company. And if you check out the QR code above me, that would take you to their I want to say, because I've done so many and I don't want to be wrong about this, but I think it is to their Facebook page. We're gonna assume it's the no, it's their YouTube page. Yes, YouTube
Even
page.
better.
So you definitely check it out because they have some great action on there. I promise you, you will not get bored of it. Definitely. Now, the question I always ask first is, how did you become a wrestling fan?
Well, I grew up in the 80s, so it was hard not to be a fan. WWF, I discovered on MTV with the War to Settle the Score, and I got hooked immediately. I would fall on and off depending on whether my favorite wrestlers were very prominent. I was a big Roddy Piper fan, Shawn Michaels fan, Stone Cold and The Rock, obviously, and The Undertaker. So those were kind of the locuses of my fandom. And then I had the opportunity to get into the business in NorCal.
So tell us about that journey from fan to getting into the business.
Well, yeah, it came a lot through DDPY. That kind of opened the door for me. During COVID, I started doing DDPY, which gave me the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to get involved with my local wrestling promotion. I had some money to invest. So at first I was going to start training as a referee, but they were putting out their first pilot episode of PCW Limelight. And it ended up being 3 hours long. There were some sound issues. There were some editing issues. And I was very new in the company, and they were asking all the boys in the locker room what we thought of it. And I was like, oh man, guys, that's terrible. It was hard to watch. Everyone's so proud of the pilot episode. They were like, oh man, check it out. What did you think? And I was like, that was awful. Sorry, guys. And, in the wrestling world, they're kind of like, well, can you do better? You're darn right I could. And so second episode of PCW Limelight, I took over the editing and the color commentary. We did it initially with Zach Reed, then James Haight. I've had several partners, but I've been the constant on PCW Limelight. It's been Doc Haywood and guest.
hey, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, so we are 5 years deep in PCW Limelight on our 5th season. We've also started our 4th season of Prospects, which is our show for the younger talent and some of the other talent around NorCal to get showcased on YouTube. There's currently 31 promotions in what is considered Northern California, and
Jeez.
PCW is the only one with a weekly YouTube show.
Really?
Yeah, that's consistently put out a weekly YouTube show. Some other promotions have tried, but they haven't had the consistency that we've had with PCW Limelight and Prospects.
So what makes y'all that good to consistently have your product out there?
Well, a lot of it is just smart editing. Instead of putting out a 3-hour show, I'm going to do what they used to do back in the day and edit out a couple matches and chunk them out throughout the month. and we do enough shows to where we can put out about 2 different shows pretty consistently throughout the month. Prospects, we're up to 3 episodes a month, and Limelight, we're consistent every Saturday at noon.
So with that formula, is it easier to get across storytelling and build into your big shows?
Yeah, I think so, because it gives us opportunities to remind fans what happened. Because if you drop everything down in a 3-hour lump, well, you've got a couple weeks or maybe even 3 weeks until the next show with nothing to remind them. And so fans have short attention spans, short memories. And so it's real good to remind them what's going on, what's been going on throughout the month. So, oh yeah, that guy. Oh, okay, I remember these guys have heat. And as the commentary guy, I'm able to tell the story and different stories throughout the different episodes and kind of remind the fans as well as to what went on last week, what we're going to see next week, what happened on the other show, Prospects. It takes a lot of planning and organization. It also helps that PCW's been around this is our 26th year, or 27th year, actually. Started in 1999.
Damn.
Yeah, and under the same promoter. So, yeah, we've been around a hot second. We just got to see another one of our boys from the PCW locker room, former PCW tag team champion, Powerhouse Hobbs, Royce Keys, make his debut in WWE. Like we had Jacob Fatu a couple years ago, and he's doing real well. A lot of these guys have been in the PCW locker room and have done a lot of work for us. Hobbs trained up in APW for a while our head promoter, Zach Reed, was training for Roland Alexander. He was kind of like Roland Alexander's right-hand man doing the training in APW. So he had a hand in Hobbs's formation.
Wow. How does that make you feel, knowing that a lot of guys and girls have came through y'all system and y'all are seeing them just bloom, basically?
It's great, because I love NorCal. I love this area. He was a few years my junior, but went to the same high school as me. Brian Cage and Aaron Rodgers. They both went to Pleasant Valley High School in Chico, where I went to high school. So I know there's talent up here. And that's one of the great things about PCW is I get the opportunity to see that talent when they're just starting out, to encourage some of them. And I tell you what, man, we have got a stacked roster of talent, from gigantic monsters, 6'10", 500 pounds. There are very few guys who could lift our champion, Bad News Blakesley. We've also got a personal friend of mine. I've helped this guy through DDPY. I've helped him lose 80 pounds. The 6'4", now about 360-pound Nightmare Sin. He is the king of the death match in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of guys, I mean, he's kind of the guy who pioneered death matches up in the Pacific Northwest.
Wow.
We've got 2 other giants coming out of our training program. This guy, they've been calling him the Big Bad Wolf, Shaq Wolf. This guy is 6'4", 300 pounds of spinal destruction. Just made his second match the other night. I'm going to watch him again this Friday. This guy is a beast in the making. And then another guy hasn't debuted yet, but a 6'7", Jalen Love, a very athletic young man. So we're kind of like turning into the land of giants now too, with these big boys.
Man, just from what you said, personally, I'm 6'4", 300 pounds. So, maybe I'll think about coming out and training.
Hey, you never know. Diamond Dallas Page started at 35. I took my first bump at 48. So never too old. I think. I mean, look at Mae Young and Moolah.
Well, unfortunately, unlike them, I've had too many back surgeries and hip surgeries. Yeah, I've hit my chance of it's done.
No going through tables for Professor Bear.
No. I always tell people, like, now look, just because I'm beat up, I still keep 1 or 2 in my paw just in case. Oh wow! So, what is a day like for you getting ready for taping?
Getting ready for taping's pretty busy for me because I'm in charge of the Haywoodtron, the big screen that we put up at certain shows, especially the Orville Convention Center. We just have this big giant projection screen where we can put up entrance videos and the graphics. So I got to make sure everything is ready for that. I have to make sure we've got the batteries all charged for the cameras, all the cables and cords, everyone's music all ready. So there's a lot that goes into just the production, getting things going. If we're debuting a new talent, I make the entrance videos. Me and another guy, depends on who we're trying to have shine. But I'm one of the guys who does that, so I got to get those ready. Sometimes I'm designing graphics or even gimmicks for some of these guys to help get the idea of who they are across to the audience at home and the audience in the live show. The entrance music plays a huge part. Everyone knows their favorite wrestler's entrance. I mean, that's kind of what we all practice doing. I think every wrestling fan has walked into a room like Stone Cold or The Rock or Goldberg.
Yes. Well, if you haven't, then you're not a true wrestling fan. I don't care what you tell me.
I find me the man who was a fan of the Attitude Era who doesn't do the Shawn Michaels sexy boy dance,
Definitely. So, doing all of this, what do you think your younger self would say to your older self, being able to see what you have accomplished in wrestling?
Well, I mean, it would be pretty wild. I would have never dreamed. I mean, most folks, they think of, we'll get into the ring and be the body slam guy, but I get to be the Bobby the Brain Heenan guy, which I think my younger self would have just flipped for, because I saw Bobby the Brain as the ultimate villain for Hulk Hogan in a way that Andre and King Kong Bundy and the rest of the Heenan family weren't, because Bobby was the one controlling all of them. And I've gotten to do the Bobby the Brain thing and get to do what he never got to do, because when Hogan turned heel with the NWO, Bobby was ultimately proved right. And if you watch it, it's one of our newer videos, the top 15 moments of 2025. Over the last 5 years, I've cracked the veneer that is Zach Primetime Reed to show what a piece of trash that guy is to the fans. And now I'm kind of getting to, get the fans saying, hey, you know what? You were right, Doc. We're sorry. Some of the wrestlers are like, man, Doc, I had you pegged wrong. You were just looking out for us and for the fans.
I can remember, because as a kid, I never liked Hulk Hogan. And one of the biggest reasons was because, to me, he was fake. Everything he did was fake. And I think that because I'm a Southern boy, and Ric Flair was the ultimate for me. And just, he always pointed and hulked up in a leg drop. I'm like, no. So all the years I listened to Bobby, and when he was proven right, I can still remember to this day me yelling at the TV like Bobby could hear me. I knew you were right, Bobby. I was with you the whole time.
Right. I mean, I was a big Bobby the Brain Heenan fan, and when he's like, "Whose side is he on?" I was like, is this the moment Bobby gets proven right? And it was, man. It was so great. It was total vindication. But they never let him just kind of bask in it and get what he deserved. And I'm working on getting the comeuppance I deserve for showing the fans what Zach Reeb is. And Zach Reeb's little house of cards is about to come collapsing down. So folks will definitely want to be tuning into Limelight to see what I've got in store for that guy.
You know, sometimes my father used to say this to me all the time. He used to say, boy, a hard head carry a soft ass. And and to this day is one of my things. I've passed it on to my kids. When they have kids, I'm gonna pass it on to them. It's one of the most truest things in the world.
Well, I might steal that and use that on commentary. That is gold.
You have my permission. My father would love to know that his quote made it to wrestling, because he was a big wrestling fan too. So he would be all for it.
I'm surprised JR never said that.
I know.
You know, that's some of that good old Southern wisdom my grandma would throw.
Oh yeah. Oh. So what has been the biggest positivity that you've had since you started working for the company? What is the biggest thing?
Well, I think for me it was helping Sin, like I said, lose 80 pounds. He had gotten to a point where he wasn't really happy with his weight, and it was affecting his performance in the ring. And I've been telling the guys in the back, you need to do DDPY. You need to do DDPY. It got me in the best shape of my life. Don't get outworked by the commentary guy. And so finally, one of them was like, hey, Doc, I'm going to take you up on your bullshit. And so come, can I come work out with you? And I said, yeah, man, if you're committed, you got to be here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And he does. He's been coming. We're going to be hitting a year here in a couple months.
All right.
And he said he was having sciatic problems, so he couldn't throw a drop kick anymore. And just a couple months of DDPY, and he's throwing the drop kick again. He's looking amazing. So that setting an example for the guys to shoot for. Like I figure I'm the pace car in racing. If you got to just be able to keep pace with me. If you can't go faster than me, you might want to rethink your career, because you want to be a pro wrestler, and I'm just a 50-year-old guy trying not to die. So get your butt in that gym, dude. Hit that iron, man. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm part of the 5 a.m. gang, clanging and banging. And then I come back and I coach Sin through a DDPY workout. And that's for any guy. in independent pro wrestling. In the PCW locker room, I see a lot of guys out in independent wrestling where it's like, brother, you want to be a wrestler? Convince me. Go hit that gym. Go get that diet under control. Because I tell you what, Hunter and Tony are not going to be calling you up. They already got one Otis, and he's enough. He's enough for 2 or 3 promotions. They can share that guy.
So, what has been your biggest moment calling something?
Oh man, there have been some great moments, but I think my favorite one, Zach Reeves' teacher, Anthony Marcus, formerly known as Schizo, returned to the promotion, really wreaked havoc and got under Zach's skin. And this was kind of the breaking point for him when Schizo betrayed Zach. The lights went out. Video went on the Haywood Tron, and it showed this shadowy mastermind who'd been plaguing the company was really Anthony Marcus all along. He had been in Zach's corner. Zach turned around, gets brained with the cane of my late best friend and Zach's old enemy, Bradley Rotten. So we're tying like 20 plus years of continuity together with this one act. And I get to call, and Zach Reed was betrayed by his own teacher. And my goodness, what a great moment that was, full of drama, just full of a lot of NorCal history in that moment. Anytime I get a call, a Rick Luxury match, Rick is a legend, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. Wrestled up and down the state and in Portland. Getting to call one of Rick's matches is always an honor. And then anytime I get to see one of these young kids just have a real just banger of a match, especially right after they come out of training. A couple of young kids we had, Rayshawn Prince and the amazing Jesse Garcia. These two guys, this was a couple years ago, and a lot of the guys said they couldn't go. They hadn't been training long enough to really hold the audience's attention for 15 minutes. And they said, "You want to bet?" And they went out and main evented their first outing. And wow. Really stole the show, these two kids with their athleticism. Rayshawn's moved on from the promotion. Jesse was out with a knee injury for a long time. He's actually been out longer than he wrestled, but we're hoping he's going to come back soon. Maybe at an upcoming event. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But the other end is all-pro Ethan Reno. This young kid debuted at 15 years old, and he's kind of like if you had Mark Henry at 15. This kid is a lot of power, was a multi-sport athlete in high school, including amateur wrestling, so he's got some mat skills. This young kid, I have a feeling someone's gonna be calling him soon, especially hitting the gym more, getting his diet under control. If he gets a little more cut, he's gonna be in serious demand very soon. We've got a lot of young guys coming up. Another young guy, Ramon Corzine. He's a second generation PCW guy. His dad, the arsonist, is currently wrestling. This kid's 16 years old. Very impressive young man. Already got a lot of charisma. And as I said before, we've got a lot of young guys and women coming through the pipeline at Primetime University.
That sounds wonderful. So, what makes PCW different from any other independent company?
We're story driven. We've got the consistent TV show that's on every week, and so we have to be very focused on story. Uh, while we'll get in our high spots when they're appropriate, it's not a spot fest. We try and tell a story out there. Our uh, guys are trained to use classical in-ring psychology. One of our fans best described us is it reminds you of watching old school WCCW, the World Class Championship Wrestling. We've got little vignettes in there. We've got the action, a little taste of like the Attitude Era and some violence. Some over the top violence that if you were a fan of the South wrestling in the South, you're all about. If you were like a WWF guy in the 80s, like I was, there wasn't a lot of blood back then. And if there was, it was. So I grew up squeamish about the blood, and we don't have as much as we used to. But man, our first season, our ring announcer got literally perforated by propane, one of our still active wrestlers, with an afro pick, to where this poor guy was gushing blood, and there were puddles of it everywhere. And this was maybe one of my first or second shows working with the company, and holy moly. That show ended up being very rowdy. Come to think of it, Rick Luxury got into it with Sledge. There was a near riot among the fans. That show got out of hand.
Well, and see, I'm a Southern boy, so yeah, that'd be right up my alley. Wow. So, being that the company has been going on for a long period of time, what is the future for the company?
Well, it was basically back to square one with the pandemic, where we kind of had to completely rebuild ourselves, rebuild our fan base. And we're still in the process of doing that. We've been expanding. We were initially pretty much localized in the Oroville area. Now we're doing a lot more shows in Yuba City, which is a little south of Oroville, which is our main hub of operations and where our training is. And we've also expanded up to Red Bluff, which is way further north from Yuba City. We're trying to break into Chico. We want to work in Red Bluff. We've also been doing a lot more with the other promotions in the area. We've got a PCW versus Ugly Dojo show coming up in March, which is going to be cool. It's two promotions against each other. We've also been invading RWF in Reno, which is Big Paul. Big Paul is the Wrecking Ball. Big Paul is Adora. He is my sometimes broadcast colleague. He was almost chosen for NXT, not NXT, Tough Enough, but they picked AJ Kirsch instead of Big Paul. And Big Paul's another one. He's one of these 7-foot guys that WWE was like, oh, we'll lose a lot of weight and we'll sign you. And he got like really cut. And then they were like, oh, you need to put on more weight. He was like,
oh my goodness,
screw this. But Big Paul's been running RWF up in Reno, Nevada. And Zach Reeves been trying to take over there. And we've helped them out with some production stuff. So it's expansion. It's growing the school, getting more students, doing more shows so that hopefully we're doing prospects every week. We're doing Limelight every week with 2-hour live shows that we just put up to YouTube. And then the big 3-hour big shows that we do 4 times a year. It's just all about growth and expanding. We're the only pro wrestling territory pretty much from Yuba City all the way up to the Oregon border. It's just us. So that's a big area to serve. And I would love it if we could serve that whole area and mine it for talent and get a lot of these young guys who wouldn't otherwise get discovered. Make new fans of pro wrestling that wouldn't give WWE or AEW the time of day, but they'll watch the local stuff because they don't got nothing else going on in town.
You know, one thing that you said that I really loved is y'all working with other promotions. I think that is such a big thing, that the negativity of working with another company is like, and I get it. You want to try to keep your fans, and you feel you could be threatened by the company, or they just don't want to do business. But I look at it as a good thing, because you get to intermingle your talent. You get a chance for the talent to work in another part of a country, and they get to learn what works, what doesn't work there, because it could not work the same way in PCW. So I just think it helps everyone in the end. You get new talent, you get someone else you can follow, and you just it's more exciting that way, to me anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And the guy in NorCal who really was the one who kind of busted those doors down was Adam Thornstowe. We just inducted him into the NorCal Hall of Fame this year, which just came back, which was a huge deal for NorCal. Kind of been dead since the pandemic, so this was the first year we did it, and we had to induct Adam. And one of the things I learned was he was the first guy when these companies wouldn't book someone because they were from PCW, or wouldn't book this guy because he was from SPW. And Adam Thornstowe was the first guy to go, hey, I'll come work for you. It doesn't matter that I trained here. Let me come work for you. And he was the guy who broke down a lot of those barriers. And we've been doing it quite a bit in PCW. This year we did the Prospects Cup, where we had guys from the Ugly Dojo, Next Level Pro, Oasis Pro, SPW, all come wrestle to see who was the top young guy in NorCal. And this year it was Aiden Andrews who walked away with the cup. He's with the All Day Crew, and they're wrestling up and down the state. So I think it's very important, to work with these other guys. At the same time, one of the things that we're able to do is there's a lot of shared talent in NorCal. Like I said, there's 30 different promotions. It can be hard to pin a story on a guy who's working with this promotion and isn't going to be available for your show because he got double booked, which happens a lot up in NorCal. So we're blessed to be able to rely on our own talent and build up our own guys, because we do have a very stacked roster of Primetime University graduates and guys who wrestle pretty much exclusively for PCW or make PCW their priority.
With your training facility, how long has it been going?
So the training facility, the one we're in, where the actual building we share with 3 other promotions right now, WCWF and SPW and PCW, we all share this building. But the actual training, Zach Reeb has been training since, my goodness, it was originally the PCW work farm back in the early 2000s. So been training a long time. Zach's actually traveled. He's wrestled in Japan and Portugal. So he's done a tour of the world, but he hates plane travel. So that's one of the reasons he stays in Yuba City and turned down some big opportunities because he does not like to travel. So yeah.
With with that, tell us about your women's division.
Yeah, the women's division's starting to grow. Maple Gramps and Annabelle Sky, there are two main women right now. They've been feuding. Maple originally started back in, I want to say 2016, when she was pretty young, back when she was maybe fresh out of high school. She took some time off during the pandemic, got a family, had a kid, decided to come back. Maple, it's amazing the ovation this girl gets in any town she goes to. Even sight unseen, the crowd just instantly reacts and is cheering for her and wants to be on her side. She's the baddest chick in town. I'm not generally a fan of intergender wrestling. I just, if we want to talk about believability, there are few and far between who can go toe to toe with a especially a 6'10", 500-pound monster like Bad News Blakesley.
Right.
Maple Gramps can straight up choke out a dude twice her size. For reals. I do not want to get on her bad side ever. Maple Gramps, she literally is the baddest chick in town. Then we have Annabelle Sky, and this girl is about as duplicitous as they come. She's constantly hiding under the ring. Her boyfriend and her brother are in a tag team, the Unwanted. So she's causing trouble helping them out and has been causing Maple a lot of annoyance. I wouldn't say concern, but annoyance for Maple, especially with some of her underhanded tactics. We've got a couple gals who have just started training. They get inspired by these young women that we have in the ring now. And again, we've been using some young women from Ugly Dojo, excuse me, and other promotions to challenge Maple and challenge Annabelle. So the women's division's growing.
That's good. That's good. Let's talk about your tag team division.
Tag team division is on fire. Like I said, we had Annabelle's brother and boyfriend, the Unwanted, Nasty Nash, and Christian Sky. Christian Sky, he's a Triple Crown PCW winner. So this guy, he's got his bona fides. And then Nasty Nash is able to rile up people like maybe you haven't seen since Roddy Piper. He has had fans get up and slap him. People try and fight him constantly. He is a nightmare for security. And I think he likes it. I think he likes pissing people off. But he's a little pissed off right now because they just lost their tag team titles to Buck and Bay, Zach Bay and Wild Buck James. They were able to fulfill their promise and take the tag team titles in their hometown. We've also got Preston Price and Chase Brings the Action Jackson. the franchise players. They just had a match against the tag team champs. I can't remember if that's debuted on Limelight yet or if it debuts next week. Like I said, we're doing 2 shows a week, so I get a little confused. But you'll be able to check that out on YouTube if you're not able to already. The franchise play, the Gator Boys, they will be in action on this week's episode of Limelight. These guys are very popular across NorCal. So the tag team division's very lively right now. A lot of fun stuff going on.
So if I was a first-time wrestling fan, how could you explain it to me why I needed to watch PCW?
Man, you need to watch PCW because I'm going to say that bar none, get rid of the fireworks and the pyro and all the money that they spend. PCW has the best stories going. Like I said, 26 years under the same promoter. We've got history. We've got legacy. We've got guys who are coming up in the big leagues. So the next top WWE star is probably in PCW right now. And you'll get to watch him at the ground floor. I mean, that's why I am the diamond standard of commentary, because we find the diamonds in the rough and we bring them to you every week on PCW Limelight, Saturdays at noon.
Doc, I just have to tell you, me and you've been friends for a while. The one thing that always impresses me about you is you are straightforward. If I wanted to know something, I ask, you're going to tell me what it is, up and down, with no slight, nothing.
Yeah, I'm a great shooter, baby.
And that's what I honestly love about you. I love about PCW. Y'all have been doing some tremendous work for quite some time. And you, I think you know this about me, that I love to give people their flowers. And it is so much appreciated for what y'all have done, what you are currently doing, and what y'all will do in the future. Because being wrestling fans, we always need great promotions, great places to bring in athletes and get them trained the right way to continue the sport that we all love. And I just wanted to give you your flowers for that. And thank you so, so very much for everything you've done, you do, and you will do for the sport of wrestling. I not only me, not only your fans, not only my fans, but everybody that loves wrestling appreciates you, and we thank you.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate what you guys at the Wrestling Society Network have done. You guys bring fans together so that, it's like the tape collectors back in the day trading stuff from Japan and from Europe and England, and like, hey, have you seen this guy? Hey, have you seen this promotion? Have you seen this guy? That's what you're doing at the Wrestling Society Network. And you guys are doing it on a big scale with the Roku channel, with the website. It's great to be a part of that and to have got on at the ground floor, man.
We definitely appreciate that. And again, we appreciate you and everything y'all are doing out there. Before we go, do you want to give any shout outs, any promos, plugs? The time is yours, my friend.
All right. Well, you got to check out PCW Limelight every Saturday at noon on YouTube, youtube.com/PCW Pro Wrestling. And we've also got PCW Prospects 3 times a month. That's, like I said, the Breakout Talent in NorCal, California. That's on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel. And even though he smells like food stamps, shout out to Zach Primetime Reed. That was the line they cut from The Price is Right, by the way. I spun the big wheel. Drew Carey asks if I want to shout out to anyone, and I say, all the boys in the locker room except Zach Reed, you smell like food stamps, and they cut out the you smell like food stamps bit. What's up with that? Come on, Drew. I've seen your show. It's edgy. But Zach Reed, he's got his own podcast that he does with Big Paul, which is, it's an insider deal for promoters, students of the game, wrestling students. It's called the Going Over Podcast. I highly suggest that you check it out. Even though Zach Reeb has the mouth of a sailor that gargled kitty litter, if you can get through all the potty language, it's a very informative podcast. You can also find me on Pro Wrestling Tees, Take It Twice Tees. I've got some T-shirts on there. I also dropped 3 albums this year on iTunes and Spotify, wherever you stream music. Look for Dr. Haywood. There is Diamond Summer, which is a nice summertime album, but it's also got some good jams on it. Villain Season, which is my hip-hop album. And I got a lot of diss tracks on Zach Reeb on there. And Dr. Haywood's Heavy Halloween, that's got some heavy metal kind of spooky themed songs. My favorite one is Docula, and you can probably see the Docula music video on my Facebook page. Just look up Doc Haywood, or find me on TikTok, Dr.Haywood. I do some weird stuff with AI, man. It's a lot of fun. If you follow me on TikTok, you can also check out my toy collection. I've got a big old toy collection that I've been unpacking in my recently converted garage. Now the kayfabe cave, maybe that's what I'm going to call it, the kayfabe cave, or something cheesy. I don't know. Maybe the fans can help me name it.
That I love that. I think you need to go with that. Unfortunately, I've ended up selling some of my collectibles. It's been a rough year, and any way you can get money, you got to get it. So
yeah, and or you run out of space. I moved from a very, very big place up in the mountains to a much smaller location, and now I'm saying, oh, I have too much stuff. I don't have anywhere to put this.
I think I'm still not getting rid of my Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines. I have a friend who wants them. I would give it to them, but I think I would be so upset and wouldn't be able to live with myself if I gave them away. So I'm hanging on to them a little longer.
I fully intend to make my children deal with the hassle of selling all of my collectibles because they know it's worth something. And it's like, this is revenge for all the years, kids. You to deal with this after I'm dead. Dad's fortune is in his toys.
Oh, that's so cool. And what's more funny about it is the thinking I would have in my head for my kids too. Oh God. Well, Doc, as always, my friend, it was a great conversation with you. I appreciate you coming on. We'll have to do it again real soon.
Yes, for sure. I love coming on. Always fun talking with you, Professor.
I appreciate you. Guys, girls, thank you so much for hanging out with the professor around the campfire again. You know, again, this is such a great experience to get to hear people's journey and how they got involved with a promotion. It is so it should be able to motivate you to be able to do whatever you thinking of trying, because the only thing that can happen is you fail. And if you fail, you always can get up, wipe yourself off, and try again. The real crime is not trying at all. So, but before I go, of course, you know I have to say this. Please, please, please go support your local indie promotion. I mean, you will have so much fun at these indie promotions. And I always say they are not better than WWE, and WWE is not better than them. What it is, it's a different experience. And you get to actually have conversations with the wrestler. You feel invested in the show. You never know who you may see on their journey, and years down the road, you can see them as the heavyweight champion in a major promotion. You never know. So please give your support to your local promotions. And with that being said, I am Professor Bear. This has been a Bear's Thought, and we will see you once again around the campfire for a great conversation. Y'all have a great, great evening.